Note to self, don't forget to add, well, yeah, we'll make this the beginning. Um, because I realize how much little time I have left, I'm going to do Pomni, Jax, and Ragatha. I'm going to try and get all three done. I'm going to do this quickly, try and make it so it's still within the hour, I guess. My note to self was because of when I did the editing, I forgot to add in the Last Supper and the scene. So I'm actually going to show the Last Supper and the scene. You'll get to see it side by side, but we'll get to that a little later. Now for the notes. Pomni appears just after Sun and Moon. So when Cain is introducing, the reason I have that note in is because it shows that the Sun and Moon are actual main characters, even though they're minor characters, but they are not the NPCs. They are actually part of the program. Just after appearing startled as she knows she's in a VR game. Yes, as soon as she showed up, she was trying to take the headset off and everything. She knew she was in a VR game, meaning she did not have her mind wiped by Cain at the time. She just couldn't remember her name. Part of the process of entering the VR world, I guess. Who knows? Tries to take headset off, which I did mention. Swears after realizing that she's trapped. Well, attempts to swear, that is. And when King tells her that she can't swear, she attempts again. Why? This one is because, well, she was swearing like, the exclamation, I can't believe this is going on. And the second time, after King told her that she can't, she was testing that limit. And then she said, how do I leave? She wants out. She knows that this wasn't her intention. She just put on the headset. After hearing about her situation, decides it's just a nightmare. It's like, no, this isn't real. This can't be reality. It's all a dream. It's a nightmare. She can remember most of what's going on, how she got there, except for her name. And that goes with Cain being able to alter people's minds, to mess with them. Oh, she accepts the name Pomni after wanting, she says, I just want to lie down. And King gives her the name Pomni because the other one I can't even pronounce. It isn't an actual name. Oh, after 9 minutes 50 seconds, Ragatha, brain fart or mind reset. Oh, okay. So sometime after 9 minutes 50 seconds, Ragatha said something, and Pomni she could not think clearly. It's because her mind was still adjusting to Cain messing with it, to, the circus messing with it, reacclimating in a manner. Well, I guess the first time acclimating. Let's see, tries to help missing no Ragatha. I can't believe I called when Ragatha was glitching out due to the Yeah. Well, you can hear that I don't have the smoke detector going on. I took care of that. I mean, it's something the landlord needs to take care of, but anyway, so my mind is just all over the place. Anyway, the abstracted, that's what it was. So after the abstracted tagged Ragatha, um, Pomni did try to help until her hand started glitching out, and that's when she was freaking out. Self-preservation goes back to Ragatha after escaping Kaufmo. Well, abstracted Kaufmo, that is, because she did sort of feel bad for Ragatha. Chooses exit door over helping Ragatha. As soon as she saw the exit door, she went straight for it. It's one of those, well, as much as I want to help others, I'm going to leave this place and escape. Screw the others, in a manner of speaking. This is why I say Pomni is not actually Jesus in this. Then again, the religious aspect is because of Cain and Abel, because they were trying to rehabilitate. If you remember where I was going with what the circus was originally designed for. A government sanctioned company using VR to rehabilitate the criminally insane. So, of course, finding Jesus. So, that reference is within the programming. And Pomni, there's another reason why she's different from the others, but I'll get to that later. Practically loses her mind when seeing, the last place she was human. So when she goes to the labyrinth, then she finds the office with the VR headset. It brings back, this is how I got trapped here in the first place. And now I'm back to the start, to the beginning of my nightmare. Now, I believe that Pomni actually does have more power than we realize at this point. Let's see. Oh, being taken by void. So as soon as she enters, there's the void, and her mind is wandering, and there's the monitor. We know what the void is. When Cain returns Pomni, her hand is fixed. Yeah, so my notes are, she entered the void, and this is where Pomni gained an ability that, we are not quite aware of yet. And that's what fixed her hand, not Cain. It was fixed before Cain did anything about it. Last Supper. Pomni equals Jesus. Yeah, now, here's the Last Supper. And here's the scene with Pomni. You'll notice it is similar, but not quite. It is very similar, though. And then episode 2 has nightmare about abstracting because of what happened with Kaufmo and the chase and everything. She was scared. And she realized the way she treated Ragatha, she felt a bit guilty. And so she had the nightmare that she abstracted, and because of the person she was when she was abandoning them for the exit door and not really helping them, just thinking of herself, she never felt part of the group. And so she saw in her nightmare that Cain, Ragatha, and Jax all abandoned her without a second thought. She observes that, medieval times didn't have semis, the tanker trucks, and she's here. What year is this supposed to be in, or what era is this supposed to be in? So she knew that modern stuff would not be in a medieval setting. And, oh, she doesn't like being treated as a kid. When Ragatha was trying to reassure Pomni, Pomni felt like Ragatha was mothering her. And, well, there's a reason for that, but I'll get to that later. When I get to Ragatha's, actually. And then she observes that medieval thing. I had those notes out of order. Doesn't allow Jax to take advantage of her or use her. Let's see. And that came from her being stretched, and and Jax was going to use her as a bridge to get to the other truck, and she says no. She purposely let go so that Jax couldn't use her like that. He's not a nice guy. So, let's see. Oh yeah, she knew. She even told Gummy Goo, we're somewhere under the map, I think. There's her interaction with Gummy Goo, which, as I said, the interactions are for another section in the script, but it was part of the Pomni notes. Isn't sure how to help Gummy Goo, so she looks for a way to return them. Yeah, so that note is about she did feel sorry that she could not help Ragatha in episode 1. Episode 2, she wants to help Gummy Goo, but doesn't know how. So she figures, all right, at least we can return to the surface. She attempts to console a depressed Gummy Goo. Pomni doesn't... Oh, Pomni almost empathizes with Gummy Goo. So she feels, like she sympathizes with him, and she almost empathizes because she feels like she's learning about the world the same way Gummy Goo is. She offers Gummy Goo to join her at the circus. Kindred spirits, as it were. Doesn't like being treated as... Oh, yeah. Doesn't want anyone to feel like they're nothing. Because here's some insight into Pomni. She, in episode 5, mentioned that she would get bored and do these things like explore abandoned buildings, put them on YouTube or, Twitch or whatever streaming she was doing for the fun of it. However, I think that she has had a low self-esteem, still did, because she said no one ever watches. And yeah, because that she doesn't like it when others feel like they're nothing, because she knows what that's like. Oh, and she says to Gummy Goo, and I can use a friend. She doesn't see the others as her friends at this point. Rigs something up with the truck and the collision cube, so she is using ingenuity. Gummy Goo and Pomni connect as friends during the launch. So, yeah, they're in this together now. Pomni decides Gummy Goo will join her in the circus. Oh, will join crew in the circus, as in her and the others. devastated about Kane destroying Gummy Goo. He walks in, Kane snaps his fingers, Gummy Goo poofs, and Pomni is more devastated because that was the only person that I could talk to. Still not understanding that the others are willing to be there with her. She watched Ragatha, Kinger, Gangle, and Zubul speak at Kaufmo's funeral. And that one is the, that's when she realized that, oh, so everyone here is, they're like friends, family, and maybe they are going to look out for her after all. She doesn't have to feel alone. Thought about her nightmare and realized she does have friends at the circus that will help her. Oh, yes, that was part of the speaking at Kamo's funeral notes. Pomni doesn't think she can hold her breath. Why is that under 2? That should be 3. Well, my mistake. That should be for episode 3, where she doesn't think she can hold her breath. Because, once again, in the real world, no, you can't. And then it's pink, fuchsia. Oh, pink or fuchsia. Wait. My notes were a bit. Pomni holding breath. It was either pink or fuchsia. I don't know colors. Blue. Oh, pink equals fuchsia. Okay. Blue, and then it's either pink or fuchsia. Then red. Then orange. Then yellow. Then green. Then back to blue. So it cycles through. My notes were a little all over the place there. Worried about the NPCs becoming self-aware. Because she bonded with Gummy Goo. She was afraid that if she got close to another NPC and Kane poofed, the NPC, not a fan of horror and doesn't like jump scares. As I said, these were just a bunch of notes. I didn't know if I was going to do anything with them. I have to first get all these notes, and then turn them into a script, and then I will pick and choose which notes. I may keep them all. I may get rid of some that don't really do anything. Pomni does a wild take. Her eyes didn't go back into her head. Couple interactions there. Recklessly runs into a cloud of mini something and gets possessed. Oh, souls of mini souls and gets possessed. Oh, okay, we're at that part. All right, so her wild take and her eyes not going back into her head, that was just some notes. And then the interactions were between her and Kinger, where they got to know each other. And then, once again, like the exit door, she just recklessly runs without giving it a second thought, and she ends up getting possessed. Then Kinger and Pomni's interaction. Pomni understands Kinger better. And where is it? Here we go. Tells Ragatha that she, Pomni, appreciates her, Ragatha, being there for her. It's... Oh, I now am kind of... I just want to let you know that way back in episode 1, you were trying to reach out to me, connect with me, and I appreciate you for that. Oh, and then she forgot to retrieve Gangel's comedy mask. Well, she and Kinger forgot to retrieve it. Episode 4 starts with an interaction, but that's 7 minutes 25 seconds to 7 minutes 55 seconds, so who knows? Oh, stock scummy goo. Okay, so that's what it was. Is she is, she sees Gummy Goo and wants him, to remember. She wants to reconnect with him because he was the first one she connected with since entering the circus. Wants to hang with Gummy Goo because nothing is real. Adventure, circus, job, etc. Yeah. And temporarily leaves position to interact with Gummy Goo before he leaves. Oh, before he and his two comrades exit the restaurant. So once again, she's trying to interact with him. Now, in the Gummy Goo notes, I have that no, he's an NPC. He got reset. Remember, I was saying that Pomni has some powers? Normally, an NPC that gets reset like that would just be set to default. However, Pomni, after interfering, there was a moment that Gummy Goo was remembering another version of him that interacted with Pomni before. Okay, let's see. Interaction there. Reluctantly decides to help Gangle. Offers to close for Gangle. So she learns all that's going on with Gangle and the plastic mask and wants to help her. And then episode 5. Oh yeah, episode 4 was, as I said, sorry, with the one interaction. Episode 5 briefly sees Abel spying on them. So that was actually the introduction of Abel in episode 5, not episode 7. She votes yes. On what, I don't know. I have how they voted, but it's the first one. Oh, okay, that was to turn Jax vegan. Okay. A little unnerved by the baby headlamp when Kinger takes her under the desk. Her favorite color is red. Which, once again, as I said, some of these are not for... they may not make it to my script. They were just notes I was taking so that I can understand the character better. Pomni remembers when Jax threw her out of a moving truck. What I mean is she sort of holds a grudge against that. Let's see. And then... oh yeah, this was episode 5. Interaction. Never saw Jax with a tail before. So when Jax was talking about his tail, and you've never seen him with a tail. And that's when Jax realized he didn't have his tail anymore. When did that happen? Ever since then, he's had his tail. I think. I really haven't been looking at his tail. I haven't really been looking for his tail. Votes no on... oh, Jax wanted to... he called for a vote on something against... I want to say against Zubel. It's been forever. She's 25 years of age. And once again, that I might put into. Well, all we know is that she's 25 years of age. And she's been going through a lot lately. Let's see. An accountant for a supermarket chain. Now, age 25, being an accountant for a supermarket chain, that's actually a bit young. So she must have just started her job. And she's one of the lower accountants for the supermarket chain. Being age 25, that is. Sometimes got bored with life and sought out mild thrills, such as exploring abandoned buildings and posting videos of it online, she says. She doesn't, and Jax says, oh, like a YouTuber. She says she doesn't consider herself a YouTuber because nobody watched them. This is what I was talking about, her self-esteem. Just something she did for herself. Yeah, because she didn't think anyone would care. So she decided, this is just for me. I'm not an influencer. That sounds familiar. Hey, uploading videos Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, just for my own son, just because I feel like it, in hopes that maybe someone might find it entertaining. Who knows? Let's see. Interaction. Votes no. Oh, I think this was putting Jax in the maid outfit. Pomni actually sided with Jax and voted no. Interaction. Oh, gives her batting turn to Ragatha. Because she saw how Ragatha was... something happened during Ragatha's turn at bat, and Pomni says, here, you can give it a second chance. Because Pomni's not really into sports anyway. And she wanted to help Ragatha, and she felt a little guilty that she's siding with Jax. She feels like, oh, I can't be friends with both. If I'm friends with Ragatha, that means I don't like Jax. And if I actually start becoming friends with Jax, then Pomni will think that I don't like her anymore. So once again, it goes into Pomni's mindset. Reason why she would do some things. Stands next to Ragatha, smirks at Jax's antics. Notices Ragatha's reaction and feels awkward. Yeah, so she wanted to hang out with, be with Ragatha again. And Jax did something to, that she found amusing, made her laugh. She saw that Ragatha felt threatened, as in, he's taking away my friend. And so she felt awkward for actually liking Jax, as a friend, thinking that his antics might be funny. Pomni and Jax walk off together. That one is staying in the script. It's important because it shows that Pomni decided, okay, screw this. Ragatha, you should be fine with, I should be able to have other friends than just you. And we're just friends. And walks off with Jax because she's starting to get to know him. In fact, I have a feeling the whole series is about Pomni and Jax. Pomni helping Jax through his issues. Episode 6, Oh, already half an hour. Jax and Pomni are walking and talking as a friends, interaction, not really big into sports, asked Ragatha to pair up because she felt sorry for, since she thought Ragatha thought. So Pomni thought that Ragatha thought that they were losing their friendship. Anyway, asked Ragatha to pair up. Interaction. Chooses to be with the evil one. Oh, yeah. Decides to hang out with Jax. Interaction. Gets accidentally shot by Jax in the dark. Shoots Gingle in her mask. Yeah, because Pomni is now embracing what it means to be in the circus. Sings Daisy Bell with Jax to coax Zubul out of their room. Pulls off an impossible ricochet shot. Interaction. Attempts to coax Jax out distancing by asking what he'd do if she abstracted. So Jax was distancing himself from her. Remember, Jax had two other characters who are his friends that abstracted. And so he said, no more friends. I will not get close to anyone. And so Pomni was hoping to coax him out of that. And then she attacks Jax for throwing away their friendship and enters the awards show solemnly. Here we go. Interaction. Sits with Ragatha. Looks back to Jax walking back into the award show. Looks to Ragatha and shakes her head. And then, no, he's actually not coming. We saved him a seat, but he doesn't want to associate with us. She and Ragatha show concern for Jax. Oh, by the way, Pomni got 9 votes. I wonder how many votes Ming got, because he won. Episode 7 opens the toy box that Zubul is hiding in. Interaction. Dives for Ragatha's eye. I'll get it. Starts to turn blue in the face. Surfaces to take a breath, then dies back down. Remember, you can hold your breath for ever in the circus. However, this was, no one there ever thinks about, because they're still focused on reality, which is the only thing keeping them alive, really, keeping them from being abstracted. And when I say alive, I mean keeping their sanity about them. Gets distracted by the fish, his brother, and the treasure chest. Then starts speaking while underwater because, she forgot that what was going on and it just seemed normal. Mistook Ragatha's question as asking about treasure. Oh yeah, when Agatha said, did you find it? No, someone got to it first. And then remembers about the eye, dives back down for Ragatha's eye, sees Jax walking off, then notices Abel. Interaction. Offers to get Kinger to join them in the Chinese room. Interaction. And then, here we go. Interaction. Rescues Jax when he was... What? Rescues Jax when he was... something about going first. When he was never about going first? I don't know my notes. And luckily, I need to rewatch these to get these interactions so I can mark those. Suspects something is off about Abel, which is true, interaction, and then Pomni trusts Kinger over what they all think. So this is where she has faith that Kinger is the answer. And he just might be. Now let's go to Jax. 35 minutes. Okay. I guess I'll drop Ragatha. Like, why do these characters have to have so much going on? Jax introducing theme. He does a quote. Quote shows, I'll start by attempting to remove headset. So here he is. Yeah. Why don't you try removing the headset some more? And it's because. And she said, why can't I? He says, you can't. And then he leaves. Oh, no, when she asks why, how does she leave? He says, you can't. Let's see, Jax suggests an adventure for the newbie. And then fourth wall, pan out to him looking at Ragatha's something direction. So it looks like he's breaking the fourth wall, but as they pan out, he's looking in Ragatha's direction. PRNJ asked Kaufmo. Pomni, Ragatha, and Jax asked Kaufmo as Gangle and Kinger handle the Gloinks. Jax dictates? I have no idea. Once again, these are notes I took at the time because I thought they would lead to somewhere. Let's see. Jax has keys to everyone's rooms. Lars lies about Kaufmo's abstraction and uses the adventure to escape Kaufmo. Breaks the spare notification, when the bowling sign, and he kicks, I think Jax is the one that kicked the pin, and it said spare. Jax came back to break the spare sign. And he likes to troll or cyberbully, and I believe he was that kind of person in his human life, and so he was just doing that to the Gloink Queen, and purposely avoids noticing the corrupted Gloink. So he does notice, but then he acts as if no, I never saw it. During the Last Supper, a lot of people would say Jax equals Judas. Now, if I remember to do this, note to self, listen to the full thing. I know it's boring, and I know it's 40 minutes already, but here's the photo of Judas. I'll circle Judas. And here's the photo from the dinner. Notice how Jax is not in the position where Judas was. This is why I'm saying it had the undertone of, but it really wasn't. Jax is not really the Judas character, like a lot of people thought from that one scene. Let's see. Once again, why did I have stepped on Gangle's comedy mask as episode 1? Let's see. Yeah, no, I think that would be episode 2. Yeah. Once again, I have that out of order. He's excited to drive the semi-tanker truck until he hears the horn, and then, that's not what I thought it would be. So, Gangle, you drive. And I guess he steps on Gangle's comedy mask at that point. Grabs Gangle like a bully would. So he, once again, he has his own issues and he's taking it out on others, and Gangle is his punching bag because she, lets him. She acts like prey. So, of course, Jax would be the predator. He craves violence. Um, and that's for 7. Why do I have these out of order? How did I get these out of order? Where's the next Jax? Okay, here we go. Tossed Pomni like a rope. 15 minutes to get through all this. Seeing how he's upsetting Pomni, continues to troll her, because he feels better the more upset they get, and he knows it's him that's causing them to get upset. Tells Gangle to be submissive. 7 minutes, 25 seconds. So I think he was threatening Gangle with something, intimidating Gangle. When entering Rocky Road, everything shakes except for Jax's head. Now, that's actually a note because I believe that Jax also was good with computers, and so he was able to figure out how to manipulate himself, just like how Kinger created the butterfly. Let's see. Blackmails Gangle into naming other truck. What? Oh, ramming other truck. Do it, or I'll tell Ragatha about the figure thing. No, it does say figurine thing. After the truck spikes, he has a quote between 8 minutes 14 seconds and 8 minutes 15 seconds. While the truck plummets, his ears flop in the wind, but Jax seems unaffected by physics. He's just standing there sideways, but gravity's not doing anything. As I said, he has his own thing going on. Makes Charlie and Chocolate Factory reference, or was that Willy Wonka? No, it is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Yeah, because it was when they were doing that, they called it Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I don't know why. Anyway. And yes, I know there's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and then there's Wonka. And yes, I liked all 3 movies. Interaction. Jax stole Candy Kingdom's key from Ragatha. Jack's upset about anticlimactic moment. Happy when Fudge attacks the kingdom as he leaves. Refuses to attend Kaufmo's funeral. Episode 3 won't disclose what happens when he holds his breath. There's a quote, 1 minute, 12 seconds in there, into episode 3. And he says, "What do you, the viewers, think it is?" Once again, he's attempting to break the fourth wall. Jump scares Pomni after she says she doesn't like jump scares. Uses the vacuum to suck up the Ghostly in the middle of Ghostly's intro to the adventure speech. Throws Gangle's comedy mask into the scary door. Oh, now we're on episode 4. Starts shift causing trouble to rebel against Gangle being the manager. Doesn't like Orbsman, which I would probably get to further in the script when I go into the minor NPCs, ignores Gangel's authority. I like you better when you're sad. Once again, this is Jax's personality and his I want to make others feel bad about themselves so I can feel better about myself. During the training video interaction, something happens, and then another interaction, I guess. Jack feels defeated after another of those interactions with the training video. So he is almost like being brainwashed. Checks out at quitting time. And episode 5 suggested that he safari hunts the other humans. Oh, yeah. So it was his thing they were going. And starts poaching Gangel first. And eats her. Well, chews on her, whatever. He votes no on being vegan. And then he also is the one that put in the suggestion box for Pomni to be the USA president, as she has to resolve Australia and New Zealand war. Why a USA president would have to do that, I have no idea. Didn't give Pomni her character sheet on purpose, I have a feeling. Was able to hear Kinger and Pomni's private conversation, meaning he knew what they were talking about. He heard them. I'm assuming it's because of his ears. Who knows? Shows up as the Australian terrorist. Yeah. My notes are all over the place. The Australian terrorist has a bomb to release all the world's deadliest spiders. I have no idea what that's about, except this is part of Jax's phobia. Yes, they're said that he's afraid of holes. No, I think something happened to him, traumatized him, gave him arachnophobia. I think it was an egg sac that burst. So that's why the spiders... 12 minutes left. Fourth wall break with laugh track after seeing Kinger come from under the desk. Yeah, it's an innuendo there. Has centipedes in the bomb. Oh, to scare Ragatha, because Ragatha is afraid of centipedes. Claims drawing and manga and liking anime is for losers. That's a gang, him picking on Gangle. Interaction. Jax isn't too... he isn't into relaxing adventures. Interaction. Jax asks about Gangle and not to be mean. So he actually shows some concern for his punching bag. Interaction. Doesn't want to admit he cares about how others see him, how they view him, how they think of him. Interaction. Jax used to have actual friends. And I'm not talking about the two that he became close to in the circus. In real life, he probably thought he had actual friends as well. But he did have actual friends, those two at the circus that both have abstracted. Ribbit and Kaufmo. Let's see, interaction. Thinks Ragatha's caring is fake because he doesn't believe she really cares. He thinks she's putting on a facade. Didn't realize he didn't have a tail. And then 11 minutes, 34 seconds in episode 5, he does a quote that I wanted to have in there. Realizes Kane can control the humans. So he knew about that, before he announced it to the others, Jax and Evil Pomni were hanging out. Jax strikes out on purpose. Interaction, notices corn at 22 minutes 11 seconds and jumps away. This. So they're talking about him with corn. And they're thinking, oh, maybe it's because of holes. No. Take a look at a spider's egg sac. Take a look at corn. Just a zoomed in section of each, really. And, blur it up a bit. And they do look similar. This is why I'm saying that Jax had a traumatizing experience with an egg sac bursting. Let's see. No longer in maid uniform, realizes he's not vegan anymore, pounces and choose Evil Jax. Choose on Evil Jax. Jax and Pomni walk off together. Episode 6, Pomni and Jax walking and talking as if friends. Yells for Kane to annoy Zubul. Points out Zubul to Kane. Interaction. Oh, the trust exercise. That was funny. After saying that he wasn't paying attention, Kane downloads the information rapidly into his brain, into Jax's brain. Then he shoots Ragatha just because. His first choice is to pair up with Gangle. In fact, he orders her to. And he attempts to stop Gangle's defiance, taking the happy mask. However, Zubul saves Gangle, and I'll get to that when I get to them. Interaction. One day you're somebody in the real world. That quote. Showing that he feels almost defeated. And I have 8 minutes. I'm working as fast as I can. Oh, interaction. Didn't like Ragatha beating him with the finger in the gun. Oh, the finger in the gun bit. Yeah, he did not like Ragatha actually did that to him. How is he supposed to be the superior one if someone else can get one over on him there? Doesn't want to show any weaknesses. Interaction. Oh yeah, the weaknesses. This is going into Jax's psyche some more because of his self-esteem. And he feels, maybe it was his growing up. There is something that happened in episode 7. I wonder if I took the note down. But first, corn has a bunch of little pods, like egg sac, because he talks about the little pods more than the holes. But he might have possible tryptophobia as well, not liking lots of holes. He doesn't like pomegranates. Hey, I don't care for the taste of pomegranate seeds because that's the part that we consume is the stuff on the seeds. We don't consume the seeds themselves. But yeah, an open pomegranate has lots of holes, but those little bumps that if you take a look at a pomegranate, cut it, take a look at it, and once again, like the corn, get a close-up photo of that and a close-up photo of an egg sac, blur them a bit. They are very similar. That's where the whole hole thing comes in. Accidentally shoots Pomni in the dark, urges Pomni and him to sing Daisy Bell, remembers he has a key to Zubul's room. He has a key to everyone's room. Actually, he holds a lot of keys. I believe that besides being a troll / cyberbully online, he probably had some hacking computer skills and gave himself keys to just about everywhere. Let's see. Scoots away from the door with many holes. Going back to a possible trypophobia, how it's pronounced. Sees Kaufmo's door, looks away, sees Rivet's door, and runs away. Because this is not what he wants. Interaction. Doesn't want to get close to anyone. Works hard to distance Pomni from him. Almost loses it when talking about the others who've abstracted. Remember, 2 of them, his close friends. The only things keeping him sane in the circus. Refuses to be analyzed. Enters the awards show angrily. Does not sit with the group. Thoughts, possible depression. So it looks like he's thinking about, he might have possible depression going on. Run through Jax's, possible depressing thoughts run through Jax's mind. So he gets up. Panicking, he gets ready to splash cold water in his face. He calms down a little. And you saw that, how his eyes were. Anyway, God, you look stupid. He says that, staring at himself in the mirror. He's annoyed that disappearing guy overheard that. Remember, show no weaknesses. He got 4 votes. And now we're on episode 7. Interaction. Lays on his bed in the dark. Dim lighting. Looks at Polaroids. He turned facing back. Oh, he looks at the Polaroids. And he turned them so he sees the back of them. Turns Polaroid around, showing Ribbit, Kaufmo, and Jax having fun. Turns his head to look at something on the wall. That's too small. But I know it's something. I'll take a look at it later. I have 2 minutes left. See spooky hands and arms coming from... Oh, the hole. Oh, mouse hole. That's what I wrote. Mouse hole in the wall. See spooky hands and arms coming from the hole and they are reaching out towards him. As he reaches back, his hand starts to become human. When he teaches... This is what I'm talking about. Here's notes of how abstraction works, what it's about. So he's becoming human, or he knows he's not this rabbit character. And I don't have that much time, so I'll just continue with the notes. When he touches the hand, finger, whatever, he ends up in a blissful 60s, 70s vibe scene. The scene has images resembling Kaufmo and Ribbit and himself. Jax is at peace. This is what I mean by Kane not wanting them to be happy and how abstraction is. And yes, I am aware of the time. Okay, here we go. When his doorbell rings, his eyes were showing his symptoms are initial stages of abstraction. So he was about to abstract. And this is what I mean by Kane was right. If they're happy, if they are becoming blissful, then They are remembering their humanity and they're drifting off as if they're dead, and that's what causes them to abstract. They're giving themselves into the machine. One last hurrah. I am no longer human. What is there to live for? And it's almost like suicide. I know it's an hour already. Jack snaps out of abstracting. Interaction has a bucket of keys. After none of the keys work, he simply turns the knob and opens the door. Interaction, there's a quote at episode 7, 13 minutes 8 seconds to 13 minutes 19 seconds. Oh, he calls for Kane to initiate the heist plan. Interaction, nervous about collision cube to the hot air balloon. Because he was told to be the first one doing that. Uses the key card disc to open Kane's office doors. Stares into one of Kane's world orbs with sadness in his heart. The orb shows a log cabin, snowing mountain with something, muffled, indistinct speech. I have a feeling this is part of Jax's memories that he has to get over, that's keeping him the way he is. This is one of the things that made Jax the way he is. Doesn't hold hands with the rest of the group. Interaction, starts breathing heavily, anxiety panic attack is what I'm seeing from that. Because I know a couple people with anxiety disorders, maybe 3 actually. My niece also has an anxiety disorder, and my sister might. Anyway, so I recognize what an anxiety or panic attack looks like because of them. The real world scenes include a neighborhood and a car driving something, read in the wolves or night. Driving a windy road in the woods at night. So the whole snow scene and the driving in, the neighborhood and the car driving in the woods, I think they're all connected. I think this has to do with Jackson, how he ended up becoming the way he was and how he ended up in the circus. He presses the red button. There's the red button and the blue button. And in his state of mind, presses the red button. And then he came out of his panic mode, his anxiety attack, after pressing the red button. And those are Pomni and Jax's notes. And once again, 1 hour and less than 5 minutes, luckily, but still just over an hour. And as much as I want to get into Ragatha, I want to have Zubul and... I'll do Ragatha and Kinger. I will leave Zubul and Gangle for, unfortunately, after March 20th. So I'll get to Ragatha and Kinger next. Like, comment, share, subscribe, notifications. End of this 1 hour, 4 minute, 30-second video.